It's 8:52 p.m. Time to make some espresso. Now you might think I'm crazy drinking coffee so late at night, but I'm actually using my favorite decaf. This is Noble Coffee Roasting from Ashland, Oregon, and it's their DECAF World Tour. Now, I don't usually drink decaf coffee. I don't see the point, but when I first got this Ponte Vecchio lever espresso machine, I was looking for any excuse to make coffee. And unfortunately, that meant drinking a little too many espressos. So I decided I needed some decaf. That way I could make as many espressos as I wanted and still not over-caffeinate myself. The problem was, it's really hard to find good decaf. A lot of decaf coffee just doesn't taste really good. And when you're using something to make the best espresso, you really want good coffee, even if it's decaf. Well, I searched a bunch of different places, and so far, this is the best that I found. And it's actually really, really good. I think if you did a blind tasting test, you would not know that this was a decaf coffee. So let's make some decaf. First, like anything, we're going to weigh out 14 grams of coffee, just like the non-decaf. Now my grinder is still set for my regular, whoops, a little too much. My grinder is set for regular coffee, but one of the best things about a lever espresso machine is that it has a wide latitude. It's not super sensitive to grind size. Of course, you can fine tune it just like any machine and make sure that you are getting the most flavor from your coffee. But if you don't want, if you want to be a little lazy, especially since I'm using decaf, I think this should work fine. So let's turn over to the niche grinder. Again, this is on 14. Not sure that means much because everyone's grinder is slightly different, but it'll give you a reference point. And let's grind some decaf. Again, this grinder is set for my regular coffee bean that is not a decaf, and it's not even from the same roasting company. So it'll be interesting to see how it does even at the setting that I just left it at. Give it a couple of taps. Turn it off and on to get every last ground out. Okay, and now let's switch over to tamping and distribution, or distribution and tamping. Take a look at that. It's nice, well-ground coffee. Again, as I mentioned earlier, lever machines do have an advantage over regular E61 machines in that they do seem to tolerate sort of variations in grind size or not having the perfect grind, but they still develop a really good flavor. All right, again, my hard tamp. Whoops, a little bit crooked. There we go. And let's see what we can pull. I'm going to follow the same recipe as my regular. Let's get a little closer so you can get a nice view of the action. I'm going to pre-infuse for 10 seconds. Well, already we can see some coffee coming out, so probably could grind a little finer, but not too bad. You see it's just dripping. All right, 2 Fellinis. And then I'm going to let it go for the first extraction. Ah, look at that crema. This is one nice thing about this machine combined with the DECAF World Tour. You get some great crema even in a decaf. And that was one of the problems I found with some of the other decaf I was using, was it just didn't develop a good crema. So you didn't feel like you were making good espresso. Take a look at that. Now granted, not as much crema as a regular caffeinated bean, but not bad either. All right, let's try a taste. Delicious decaf. This is actually reminds me of a third wave coffee. It has a little bit of brightness to it, which is not something that I normally look for. I'm more of a chocolate and less of a sour type of person. but this is a delicious sour. It does remind you of maybe a sour mango or some type of tropical fruit. So it's very pleasant. And again, it's decaf, so I can drink this all night long. I could make 5 more shots if I wanted to. But it's always good to have some decaf in the house for people who like decaf, who don't want to drink fully caffeinated coffee. I find a lot of guests prefer decaf, especially at night if you're having a dinner party or you're serving it with dessert. The other thing too is that it gives you something to make when you do want to maybe experiment after the kids go to bed or after the house is quiet and you want to just make some coffee. It's good to have. I have kept this bag. This is a new bag, but I've kept my decaf, I hate to say it, but for months because again, I don't drink it that often and it actually keeps surprisingly well. I know you could freeze it. I don't even bother. And after 3 or 4 months, sure, some of the flavor has dissipated, so it's a little weaker, but it's still a great tasting coffee. And again, it's decaf, so maybe I'm okay with not having the optimum time after roasting to drink it. But anyway, it's a quick time check again. Ooh, almost 9 o'clock, and I'm having some great espresso. Hey, let me know what you like in terms of decaf coffee if you ever try it with your espresso machine. Put it down in the comments. And remember, the best espresso is the one that you pour.